Your first winter and off season in Denver, and from what I read, you got caught up in the whole Bronco mania, Tebow mania situation. You want to address your fandom a little bit?
Yeah, it was very interesting to be living in Denver when the Tebow mania was going on and getting to witness it. And you know, I think there's one of you guys out here who actually got wrapped up in it just a little bit yourself. With Jeff Gluck getting into the Tebow mania somewhat over there, but it was cool to see the city, see how they reacted to Tim, and certainly somebody that I personally have started looking up to, and you know, you try to model yourself after him in your day-to-day life, just the way he acts and carries himself and handles himself. It's been a neat thing to see happen, and I was fortunate enough to be at the game when they beat Pittsburgh, and it was a madhouse, I guess is the best way to describe the stadium when it was all said and done.
A pretty good time. You've been busy. You also got married during the off season.
Yeah, I've had a lot going on this year. It's you know, between moving to Denver, getting married. I don't know that I'll tackle quite as much outside of the race car next year as I did this year, and I'm not sure that I can get to anything bigger than moving and getting married. But it was great to finally get married to my longtime girlfriend Megan. A lot of you guys have probably met her or seen her around or whatever, and. It's after 7.5 years, if I didn't get married to her, she was probably going to string me up pretty soon, so it was time.
What's going on here?
Well, that's a little piece that we were filming with Warren Miller Entertainment and Spider to basically go in their upcoming movie. I don't know how familiar everybody is with Warren Miller, but they produce a lot of ski movies, and when it comes to ski movies, they are the top level of that. And they called us and said, hey, you know, we'd like to try and get together and do something unique and different, and with the race team being in Denver, it was a natural fit. Obviously, the ski slopes are not far from our shop, and I heard somebody saying, is that skis on the top of that? That was skis on top of the car there. That was, it was a pretty neat little setup that we did with some suction cup ski holders and things like that. And there was a little bit of damage involved in that shoot. I don't think Barney knew about it when I called him the other day, quite to the extent of what it was. And I said, hey, thanks for letting us be involved in this photo shoot. It was really cool and a lot of fun, and there's some neat clips coming out of it. And sorry about the race car. And he paused on the phone for a minute, and he said, huh? And I said, oh, you didn't know. Whoops. So that was a little bit of an awkward moment for me, but really excited for the film to come out and for everybody to get to see it. The storyline's cool. It's something that they've asked us not to talk about yet, but I can tell you it involves a lot of driving in snow, which is something I wasn't 100% comfortable with, and obviously based on the fact that I wrecked the car, I wasn't nearly as comfortable as I needed to be with it, and a lot of neat shots that hopefully most haven't been done with a race car to my knowledge to this point.
Define wreck the car.
Well, that's always a gray area. How do you define a wrecked race car? I mean, it was still driving.
Yeah, okay, good.
So that was good, right?
Gray area, that's great NASCAR speak there, Regan.
Yeah, well, and Pete makes a good point. That was literally Barney's car that he goes testing with us occasionally with, and I don't think he knew that either. But that's,
Barney, is your car back in ship shape yet, or do you know the status?
You know,
of the car?
it's always last in line. I can't seem to get it moved to the front of the line, but we'll see what happens this year. How soon we can get it back.
Well, it's going to have a really good record recorder panel on it, I can tell you that. It's, we got it back to the shop, and the guys saw it at the shop, and over the years, you know, as drivers, we tend to hit the right side a lot more than we hit the left side, and hopefully we do hit the right side more than the left, because that just means we're trying to find the limit and occasionally brush the wall or whatever. But somehow I've acquired the nickname Right Side Regan from the guys in the shop, and they were happy to see that I got the right side again this time.
And serious note, how did last year, winning at Darlington, becoming one of the 5 new winners of last season, did that change things for you big time?
Well, I think it changed things, you know, for me on a confidence level big time. I know on a team standpoint for the guys in the shop on a confidence level, it changed that. You know, when we sat here last year and on the one-on-ones and different things like that, talking to everybody, you know, I said I felt like this team could win a race. And some of you guys agreed with me, and some of you looked at me like I had a third eye. But at the end of the day, I truly believed that. And, you know, when we went out there and were able to do it in a race as big as Darlington, it helped elevate my confidence, it helped elevate their confidence. You can see it walking through the shop. And it just, it's something that we can continue to build on as a team. I think the one thing that I was disappointed in is that we weren't able to capitalize on having that win and be more of a talk when it came time for the wild cards and things like that. And that's something we're going to focus on this year is not only winning more than one race, but making sure that, okay, be somewhere close to that top 10, so when it comes time for the chase that we're in that conversation of a car that's going to go into Richmond and possibly be in the chase, possibly just barely miss it, or possibly make it easily. And we saw from last year with what Tony was able to do, once he got into the chase and not thinking that he should have even been there and ends up winning the championship and going on a hot streak, that it's becoming more apparent that this is kind of like almost like football playoffs, where the team that gets hot at the right time is going to be the team to beat when it gets down to those last 10.